Hello, second grade scientists, and welcome to another science lesson. We are leaving earth science behind and we are moving into life science. And we're going to start off with a lesson all about the life cycle of a plant. You've learned and observed what all plants need to survive. Think back to the last couple of science lab activities with the plants you did at home. What do all plants need to live? Turn and tell someone at home what you remember about what plants need to survive. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right. All plants need water, light, air, and space. You experimented with different types of water, salt water versus fresh water. You experimented with the amount of light, lots of sunlight or in the complete darkness, and you learned what plants need to grow the best they can. So we know what plants need, but what does the life cycle of a plant look like? Do you have any thoughts? Turn and tell someone if you have any thoughts about what a plant's life cycle looks like. Hmm. Interesting. Maybe this will help jog your memory if you've learned this before. Here's a quick picture about the life cycle of a plant. Do any of these words look familiar to you? Do you know anything about any of the information showing up on your screen? If you do, pause the video and talk to someone at home. When you're ready, hit play, and we'll learn about each phase of the life cycle of a plant. Here we go. The first phase is a seed. The life of most plants starts with a seed. Seeds are a small plant covered with a protective skin called a seed coat. Seeds have food stored inside them that plants can use to grow before they sprout. As seeds get water, light, and air, they will germinate or get bigger and bigger until they sprout. A sprout is the first tiny part of the plant to poke through the seed. A sprout starts with roots pushing down into the soil out of the seed coat. Then the sprout will grow a stem out of the soil up into the air. Eventually, the seed coat will fall off of the sprout and it will become a seedling. A seedling is a small, fragile young plant. Seedlings are small and thin and usually only have a few leaves. These seedlings actually still have their food that was stored in the seed with them that they'll continue to use for a while. Seedlings get nutrients from the soil through their roots and also from the sun. The seedling uses sunlight, air, and water to create its food through photosynthesis. I bet you've heard that word before. We'll come back to that process later. But now that the seedling can make its own food, it's a full grown plant, the final stage in the life cycle. A full plant will start to grow flowers. These flowers will have seeds inside them waiting to grow. When the seeds fall to the ground, the cycle starts again. So here you have it, the life cycle of a plant. Seed to sprout to seedling to plant. Now, boys and girls, what you are going to do today is you're going to sequence the life cycle of a plant all on your own. On your worksheet, I want you to draw a nice picture of each phase. On the top line, label what that is, what phase we're in, for example, plant. And then maybe give me one sentence that describes that phase of the plant's life cycle. You can go back in the video and revisit all four phases to fill out your worksheet. You can pause the video, try it on your own, and when you're ready, hit play and we'll review our answers. Give it a go, second grade scientists. I know you can do it. All right, if you're watching, that means you're ready to check your answers. You've drawn a nice picture, you've labeled the name of the phase, and you've given me a little bit of information about what that phase is about. So let's double check. Here we go again, the life cycle of a plant. First, we have our seed, which is a small plant protected by a seed coat. Then that seed turns into a sprout, which is the first tiny part of the plant with roots and a stem. Then that sprout will eventually shed its seed coat and become a seedling, which is a small young plant with a few leaves. As those few leaves do photosynthesis and the plant gets bigger and bigger, we enter the final phase of the life cycle and we have a full grown plant. A full grown plant that can grow flowers and continue the cycle. If you had other information from our lesson under each phase, that's okay. Just make sure it makes sense with either a seed, a sprout, a seedling, or a plant. Now that you know a plant's life cycle, get ready to discover all the parts of a plant in our next lesson. Until then, second grade scientists, go out and smell the flowers.